Algae, commonly referred to as seaweed, are an important part of the coastal ecosystem, providing food and habitat for a multitude of coastal organisms.
So if you're ever at the beach and you can get out to some of these seaweed areas, take a look. You might find snails, you might find little barnacles, the baby barnacles settling underneath there.
Seaweed is edible to humans too, and useful in a multitude of ways. But sometimes there can be too much of a good thing, and your day at the beach involves detangling from the algae.
A couple different factors lead to the increase in seaweed that we see at our beaches, whether one of them is light and nutrients, just like our plants that we talked about on land need light and nutrients. Our plants in the ocean, like the seaweed, need light and nutrients. So when we see increased day length in the late spring and summertime, as well as increased warmth, and combined with the nutrients that are in the coastal waters, we're going to see huge blooms of algae.
Sometimes these blooms get trapped in cove-type inlets, relying on a change in the water currents and the dynamics of the beach to wash it out to sea. Much like plants on land, seaweed has seasons of blooming in the spring. And just like land plants, they respond to fertilizer, specifically nitrogen. Nitrogen enters the ocean primarily from coastal land use of fertilizer and wastewater treatment. More algae mean more food available to ocean animals like jellyfish.
Jellyfish feed on algae and other plankton in the area, so when this temperature starts to warm up, the plankton and the algae, just like our plants that we put in our garden or our lawn, start to grow and proliferate in the late spring. So do the plants that live in the ocean, and the jellyfish like to feed on them.
Bottom line, more food available means more jellyfish. And as their numbers grow, it becomes more important than ever to follow Dr. Ramsey's tip for dealing with the jelly.
A safe bet is just not to touch anything that's gelatinous in the water, unless you know what you're doing.
Right, good bet. Scientifically speaking, Kelly Bates, ABC 6.